Dillian Whyte has finally signed his contract and he will be challenging Tyson Fury for his WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. The fight will be going down on April the 23rd at Wembley Stadium, according to reports. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to discuss some of the events that have happened in the build-up to this contract finally being signed. Before I do that, my name is Rahul J. Tram. This is the Battle Camp. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. Firstly, I just want to say, to me, it was never in doubt, right? Because you can't be someone that has spent literally years banging on about how you deserve this opportunity, how you've earned this opportunity, and the opportunity comes giving you everything that you want: a title shot, a big massive profile fight, an opponent where you're gonna get the attention of the public, a Wembley Stadium headline fight. How many fighters can get to say that? And you're going to walk away from it on the matter of principle over the percentage value you're getting of a massive pot where you're going to get paid millions, right? Because the backlash from the boxing fan, the boxing community, would be so much that I think even Dillian Whyte, who notoriously doesn't give a shit what we think, he would instantly regret making that decision, walking away from this fight, right? I don't think he'd ever be able to live it down. So to me, it was never in doubt. I always just thought, well, look, there's a deadline, right? We all know what the deadline is, so there's nothing to worry about. He'll just sign the contract before this deadline, right? And the thing that kind of made me kind of double down on that opinion is, over the last week or two, all we've seen is Tyson Fury put out that daily video calling Dillian Whyte a pussy, saying that he's scared, he's a chicken. Sign the contract, you bum. Sign the contract. And I've seen interviews with Frank Warren and Bob Arum, and they've kind of been trying to prod and push Dillian Whyte in the direction. Why haven't he? Well, he hasn't signed it. Well, we've signed it. We've signed the contract. Why hasn't he signed it? And then the thing that you're going to do when people that you don't like are trying to make you do something is not do it, right? Especially when you have a clear structure in front of you. You need to do this by this date, right? You've got a deadline. So why are you going to say, oh, sorry, Mr. Tyson Fury, let me get this right. Because you put that video on Twitter, I'm gonna read through it again and I'll have it signed by this afternoon. It don't make sense, right? So it happened, he signed it, and jobs are good. And now, one of the things that Tyson Fury did say in his one of the multiple videos that he put out is Dillian Whyte's asking for more money to fulfill media obligations in the build-up to promote this fight, right? You know, press conferences and things of that nature. And I saw Eddie Hearn's interview that he did with IFL, and actually I saw the one he did with Matchroom first, which was about half an hour on their own channel. Then I saw the one he did with IFL. And side note, I feel as though there's a lot more tension in these interviews that Eddie Hearn does with Coogan, because from memory, it feels as though they used to be a lot more jovial and there used to be a lot more banter in them. And I feel as though Eddie Hearn's patience is wearing more and more thin, and I don't know whether that's with Coogan himself, whether that's generally with boxing media, whether that's a side effect of stress and having to kind of worry about his current business. I don't know whether he's turning into one of those bitter people that he's so often spoken about when it comes to his rivals. I don't know if it's just me reading too much into things, but I just feel as though every time I see these interviews with IFL, Coogan Cassius, they're getting more and more, there's more and more kind of contentious issues during those conversations, right? Anyway, all that stuff aside, Eddie Hearn did say that one of the things that, he addressed Tyson Fury accusing Dillian Whyte of wanting more money. And he said, no, it's not that he wants more money. He just wants these obligations to be carried out under the right conditions. So he's not going to just jump on a Ryanair flight to do a press conference. And I suppose he's well within his rights to have these negotiations, right? Because he's out in Portugal. He's got to come back to London to do these press conferences and things like that. And we all know already he's not happy about the split that he's getting, right? So why is he going to do things like hire a private plane off his own back when he can ask the promoter who's promoting the event to cover those costs? And he's in quite a strong position from a negotiation standpoint, because he can say, well, I'll just zoom in. I'll just get on a Zoom call for this press conference. He don't care because his purse is guaranteed. It's not like he's earning extra money off the pay-per-view sales. So I totally understand, and I get Dillian Whyte's point of view on that point, right? One thing that I found quite funny is because recently there was rumors going about how DAZN have come out with a last-minute offer to Dillian Whyte, which is going to make him turn down this fight with Tyson Fury, and he's gonna fight someone else on DAZN. And Eddie Hearn's come up with this offer, and when I first saw that on Twitter, I just ignored it. And then I thought to myself, I bet you, I felt as though that's something that Eddie Hearn has put out there just to get under people's skin a little bit more. Because that's something that Eddie Hearn kind of alluded to a couple of times in that interview, where he kept saying, Dillian Whyte's just getting under this skin. He don't care. He knows it's getting under this skin, so he's continuing to do things that annoy them, right? And I for one, I am very, 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 very excited about this fight. I'm happy that it's happening in Wembley and not Cardiff, because there's a chance I could go and take in the atmosphere. I've never been to a boxing match at Wembley Stadium, only ever Wembley Arena. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited for this press conference that apparently is probably going to happen next week to kick off the promotion for this fight. And one thing that I'm slightly pissed off about to end this video is the fact that Eddie Hearn won't be involved in the promotion. And I feel as though that's a misstep, a major misstep from Frank Warren and Bob Arum, because it would really give a them vs us feel. And this is on a much smaller scale, But who remembers when Joseph Parker fought AJ and Joseph Parker fought Dillian Whyte? When I forget his name now, is it Higgins? His promoter, Higgins, Joseph Parker. It's probably not even Higgins, and Google's going to be like, what the fuck you on about? Joseph Parker. But you know who I'm on about, right? His ex-promoter with a very thick... David Higgins, yeah, I was right. His manager. So he was his promoter, and then he just turned into just his manager when Eddie Hearn... or when Joseph Parker got signed to Matchroom. But the point I'm trying to make is that made it a very interesting platform when Higgins was there going at Eddie Hearn, and then you had the fighters going at each other. And Joseph Parker isn't a very kind of what's the right way of saying this? He's not the kind of character that gets too worked up and animated during a press conference. But Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury definitely are, and Eddie Hearn he has got the gift of the gab, right? And I would love to have seen a press conference the first time we see Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn sat at the top table together going at it. And Frank Warren is the big dog at that table because he's the one that won the purse bid, right? It's his house. It's almost like an away match for Eddie Hearn. And the fact that he's been told he's not welcome in the build-up or the promotion for the fight, I feel as though that's a bad decision. And it just goes back to the bitter thing that I was talking about, that I have a feeling that Eddie Hearn's going down the road of becoming one of those bitter old promoters. But yeah, that's all I got at the moment with regards to this Dillian Whyte signing this deal. I'm excited for the fight, like I've just said. Let me know what you guys think about the points I've made. Comment about anything that I haven't touched on or discussed during this video. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one.